New York is getting closer by closer to having Vegas-style casinos, and right now, state committees trying to figure out where they're going to put the first 4 casino reports, a question that comes down to maximizing revenue or focusing on helping the communities that need it most. Now, 1 or 2 casinos, this much we know, are slated for our region, meaning Albany South. Of the 9 proposals in the Hudson Valley, 6 of them would be in Orange County and would be closest to New York City, where most people assume they would make more money, more traffic. 2, dilapidated Catskills area, which arguably has a bigger need for the fiscal boost that these casinos could bring. The final site would be in Newburgh. New York's casino expansion comes as Atlantic City continues to contract. Monday, we got the latest news. Trump Plaza would be the 4th AC casino that is in shutdown talks just this year. The doors could close as early as September. Showboat and the $2.5 billion Revel. Remember that one? It was a big deal just a few years ago. They'll either be sold or closed later this calendar year. In the Atlantic Club, they've already shuttered their doors. Experts guess that AC could be down to 6 or fewer casinos in the coming months, and competition for New York's casinos could be a lot closer than AC or Connecticut. You got New Jersey lawmakers right now that are saying maybe we move the casinos north, including one plan to bring a casino to Jersey City, which would just be a PATH train ride away from Manhattan. Okay, first of all, before we figure where they go, overall, do you think it's a good or a bad bet for New York to have casinos here, Phil?
Well, I've written about this. I think it's first of all, there are too many casinos in the country, let alone there's going to be too many in New York. It's a $38 billion industry that's sinking fast. It's saturated. They're even talking about putting one on Martha's Vineyard, if you can believe it. And the truth of the matter is these things don't manufacture anything. They don't make anything. They depend totally on addicts to come in and spend their money. And they have a expression in the casino industry called playing to extinction. That means taking all of their money as fast as you can and having them come back. It's just, it's not a growth industry. It just isn't, and I don't feel like the state should be in the business of enabling addiction.
I'm with you, but you look around. Got them in Connecticut, you got them in Jersey, you got them in Pennsylvania, you got them in Delaware now. You got them throughout New England. They're sprouting up as well. I know Rhode Island and now Mass. So if all the other kids do it, I mean, where does Rob stand on this?
To do this in the name of development, I mean, the state would be better off just turning people over and shaking the money out of their pockets. I mean, this isn't about development. This is about the state that needs new revenue sources. Right. And so they build casinos or bring marijuana in. It's all about revenue. It's revenue. That's what this is about.
Well, there's also the libertarian argument that people should have the right to do something that they can do in neighboring states, so may as well do it in New York. And plus, it's not necessarily building the financial foundation that you're going to grow on, but at least you're stopping that money from going to other state coffers. It's not going to Trenton. It's not going to Hartford.
Well,
it goes
that's
to all
the rationale they use. That's I mean, it's better. Might as well keep it here than there. But sooner or later, I was just going to say one other thing. They make assumptions based on how much revenue they're supposed to get. You're going to have school districts and local municipalities saying, "Well, where do you anticipate we're going to get this?" And they put out a budget like that. And then when you have saturated casinos and they don't get that money, then what do? The taxpayers feel betrayed.
Put aside the budgeting stuff. There are 2 parallel issues that we've expressed here. The ethical question of whether government should be in this business, and then the question of whether is it a good business? I don't care if you're making widgets or having people come in. It's Phil's point that it's a saturated industry where there's too much supply and not enough demand is obviously true. This is the last gasp of this industry in New York, and whether the Cuomo people decide to go with the money or with the notion that somehow an impoverished community in the middle of nowhere survives. It didn't work for Atlantic City.
I hear you.
It's not going to work for Newburgh.
Let me make. I'm conflicted on this, but I've been to AC and I've seen. It's when, not if. They're going to close these casinos. There's just not enough business there, okay? And then there's all the ancillary costs that go into this. The state pumped another $25 million into this ACA project to try and prop the thing up. They took it from the racing industry. It's not having any return on investment. More people are coming. But then, if the 6 of us went up to Sullivan County, and I went through some of those boarded up casinos, and you say, anything's better than this. I'm serious. And I know what comes along, the drugs, the prostitution, the addictions.
Better than this.
this is better than status quo.
Well, that may be, but there are alternatives to status quo that are not handing hundreds of millions to large corporations or going with gambling. We have never had a consistent economic development policy that was based in sustainable economics. They're all splashy one-shots. We'll give $1 billion to Yankee Stadium, but we can't find enough money to build housing and infrastructure.
Well, Dominic, let me ask you
in
this
New York
one.
City.
If they're coming, okay, let's assume for conversation they're coming in, and the legitimate ethical debate has been asked and answered, at least in the last ballot initiative. Would you rather see it coldly say, hey, if they go to Woodbury Commons, they're going to do better than if they go up to Sullivan? But Sullivan deserves this or needs this more than the other one. Should we decide where they go based more off of need or based more on who's going to have the best bang for the buck?
That's a very difficult
why I asked the
question.
question.
And all I can say is I'll take on all 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll take on all 5 of you. The train, blackjack. The train has already left the station. Whether you like it or not, casinos are coming. And wait, Mr. Brodsky, before you attack me, I don't know, because I was thinking about that question when you started this segment. I really was. If you drive past Liberty, it's a disaster area now. I mean, no offense to the people that live there, around exit on 100 on exit 17. And so a casino in Woodbury is going to be a license to print money because of the outlet mall there. But if you put one in Woodbury, there goes the one in Liberty. It's not going to, people coming up northbound are not going to go to Liberty.
We don't get to big bucks to restate the question.
Right.
Here's, okay, what are you for?
This pains
Are
me,
you
but thank you, Richard.
I've already said what I'm
No,
for.
which one?
It
Liberty or...
doesn't matter what you guys
You
say.
said 5 to
you
1,
can talk
here we
about,
go.
you can talk prostitution,
How
you can
about
talk
this?
drugs,
Liberty
you can
or
talk
Woodbury?
Come on.
Woodbury.
There we go. I was right. That's it. How about you, really quick?
That was fine.
I flip a coin.
on,
you
you
know, I
guys.
think it's all bad. I really do. 55% of the people that go to these casinos are gambling addicts.
Yeah. You go by the
You
song.
may be right, gentlemen, but the train has left the station.
The
The
market
train has left the
closes.
station.
All right, choo-choo. Head to the Facebook and Twitter accounts and sound off on our question tonight. Will casinos be a winning bet for New York? Not are they coming, but will they be a good or bad bet for the state when we look back? We say this was a good call. When we come back, we're going to head to Westchester County, where the housing discrimination settlement case is causing more headaches here. I know you thought, but we'd get through the hour before we did this one. We're going to talk about it. For the man in our screen, we love him, we know him, Rob Astorino. We'll be right back.